Hello, friends. How are you? Hope you have had an amazing week. It was just Labor Day weekend, so hopefully you were able to get out and enjoy some nature and enjoy your family. That's always nice. I haven't done a video for a little while, and I wanted to get on here today, and I'm just realizing that my emblem on my shirt matches my mandala, and I did not even mean to do that. So we'll start out with a cool synchronicity. But I wanted to get on today. It's been a little while, and I've kind of been in a little bit of a grounding period and really kind of been very earthy the last little while, which has been nice. I think a lot of us are probably feeling that. But it's time to get back to play. I don't call it work anymore. I call it play. Get to start putting out some more of these messages because I've really been getting some downloads lately. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about the energy that we've been feeling. And I don't know if I am super sensitive to the full moon. I didn't even realize that it was a full moon and just was feeling all the emotions and everything. But this last week was kind of a crazy energy week. And I know I've talked to some of you who are in the energy realm and really sensitive to that and kind of felt it too. So I'm going to kind of kill two birds with one stone today. Yeah, that feels right. So I wanted to talk about, and I don't know why, this is super vulnerable for me to talk about. I think every time lately, the more truth I am talking about and the more closely it is to the deepest truths of my soul, the more nervous I get. It's kind of vulnerable to really put that out there, but I think it's time to talk about it. So here we go. So I've had a lot of people ask. It's been funny because I've been getting a lot of messages lately where people are saying, hey, I want to do some healing work. I am looking for this, I'm looking for this. And I've had people ask me, so what do you do? Or how do we explain to somebody else what you do? And I haven't been really good about just declaring that this is kind of where I'm at. So this is what my intention is today, is to really kind of show up in my authenticity and share where I'm at and why maybe those ways of doing energy work before are not resonating with me anymore, and kind of give you an idea of where things are at now and how I can be of assistance to any of you that maybe are wanting to work with the way that things are now. So okay, so basically starting from the beginning, I've always been a very sensitive person. I've always been very sensitive to energy, to spirit. When I was growing up, I always felt that. I always felt very connected. I felt a lot of times more connected to the other side than I did to this world. And I remember times feeling really, really homesick. I just longed to be back home. And I think that was probably a really hard thing for my mom. I know it was hard for her, really hard for my parents to hear that, but it always felt like I was just kind of a visitor here. And I would say that most of my life, I felt like I had one foot here and one foot on the other side. And it was kind of difficult to navigate that. Obviously the energy on the planet was probably not conducive to that, at a younger age. So growing up, it was kind of a lot to handle. I would see light, I would see dark, I would see it all. And, it was a lot, But I also didn't really understand that wasn't normal. I thought everybody felt that way. So I had an experience when I was a teenager where I actually really consciously asked for things to be shut off. I asked to really be able to navigate this world in a very human way. And it did, it worked. It calmed down, it got quieter. But then as I started having children and my heart got more and more open, and I think I became more grounded in myself and had a better understanding of who I was, it started to open up again. And then I became a hospice nurse. For any of you who have had any experience with hospice, you know what I'm talking about. It is beautiful, sacred, and intense. It's intense energy. And I felt so at home. I felt like for the first time probably in my entire life, like I was home. Oh, makes me feel emotional. I have so much gratitude for that. I mean, it was just such a beautiful time in my life. But that really, really awakened that remembrance in me of what that felt like to be someone who lived in both worlds. And I really thrived in that purpose of really helping people to walk home. and to come back to that remembrance of themselves. So consequently, that really brought in all of these different awarenesses. I started getting really into meditation and writing and just spiritual work, just a lot of really digging in there and kind of figuring out who I really was and unlearning things that I had been told my whole life, undoing programming and kind of opening up all the circuits so that I could understand things in a different way. Well, needless to say, it completely changed my life. I ended up taking a completely different path than I ever thought I would be taking. I didn't plan on ever being someone who worked in healing or worked in energy. I didn't even have a concept of what that was. But the more that I started to understand it for myself and the more that I felt healing within myself, I naturally wanted to share that with other people. And that just sort of evolved. It just opened up that way. So when I first started doing energy work with people, it was very much about connecting to loved ones who had passed on the other side. It seemed like that was like the common theme. But as things evolved, it started to expand and it started to grow where, yes, that was something that happened. But then I started to really see like energetic blueprints that people were holding. So I could understand, I could see their gifts, I could see their talents, I could see their desires, I could see their blockages, I could see family patterns and generational patterns where maybe they were holding these things in their DNA. And we would heal those. We would go through and talk about those things and shine light of awareness on them. And then, the people would help, it would help them to be able to walk forward and understand it and kind of spin it in a different light. But that is not where I am anymore. And that's actually been a really hard thing to come to because I love that kind of play. I don't call it work. I love that kind of play. I love being that vessel for people. But I feel like as my energy has expanded and my understanding has expanded, I feel like those messages are changing too. So today is kind of about declaring where I'm at and how I desire to be of assistance in humanity and in society and how this can help you. So basically, I read energy. And the best way that I can explain this is, when you send a text message, it's energy, right? We don't really know how it works. We just know that that energy gets to somebody else's phone and it pops up in words that they can understand. And that's basically how this works. I just have come to understand the language of frequency, and the language, I call it the light language, where energetic frequencies come to me and I'm connected. And really, this takes a lot of intention on my part. I have to really be in a good space. I get to be in a really good space. I shouldn't say I have to, but I really need to, I really am present when I'm doing this. I'm really in a state of gratitude, in a state of allowing, really getting myself out of the way as much as possible and just being that vessel. So as that energy comes through me, it comes to me as pictures, it comes to me as feelings that I have in my body, just sense of knowing. Sometimes it's hearing, sometimes it's seeing, but I just basically translate that energy into something that is helpful for somebody else. And what it always comes down to is shining a light on the truth of who you are, whoever I'm working with, whoever that is. I'm shining the light of the truth of their soul. So it's basically, I don't have the answers for anybody. I don't think I know there's nobody else on the planet who has no guru, no healer, no Reiki master. Nobody has the answers for you. It's our job as light workers, light players, to hold that frequency for you. And so basically when I'm working with somebody, I'm just holding them in that frequency of their greatest potential, of the greatest truth of their God part of themselves. And when we awaken that part, it gets stronger. And then we're able to see anything that is in opposition to that. So anything that maybe the ego's holding, maybe it's limiting beliefs, maybe it's past trauma, maybe it's family trauma. But once that truth is illuminated, we get to see everything that's in opposition to it. And when you shine the light of awareness on it, it clears it out. And then to take it one step further, we teach you, or we help you remember how to really walk into that new awareness and really implement that into your life. And the reason why that's so important is because we are transmitters of energy. We are transmitters of frequencies. And whatever we are transmitting at a cellular level in our being is the reality that we pull back to us. It's the manifestation that we pull back to us. So it's so important that we get in there and we clear out anything that is untruth, but really, really transmute that energy to something different. And it can really be those hard experiences and those past traumas, they can actually be kind of changed so that the momentum can be in a forward motion. Because when you have some intense energy, that is the perfect medium to be able to move that into forward motion. Emotion actually means energy in motion. So we just get to change the emotion and move it into a forward momentum. Once you get into that place and you're really focusing that energy, that is where miracles happen. That's where you can come into alignment in mind, body, and spirit and really focus your energy on the manifestations that you're wanting, rather than what you don't want. Those experiences that are vibrating in the same frequency as your cellular energy is transmitting, that brings that back so that you very powerfully get to create your reality in alignment with what you are and what you're sending out. So I could go on for days about that. It's something that I love and something I love to talk about. So basically, when I'm working with people, that's what we're doing. We're just opening up the highest potential, clearing out anything that is in opposition to it, and powerfully walking into that way of being, creating a reality that matches. So that kind of guides me into a message that I wanted to give today. Basically, this was just an energetic download that I had the last couple days. I've been really feeling this. We're putting out it's called a message from the masters. If you're on our email list, you'll be getting that this week. But basically, I just love how they talk about things. There has been an energetic, conscious realm that has been more present on our planet since all of this shifting started happening. Since about February. It's an energetic frequency or a consciousness that I've been connecting with personally, and Aubrey, my business partner, been kind of working with, but they call themselves the masters. And I've talked a little bit about this, so if you've already heard this, sorry. But for those of you who haven't heard, basically, this is an energetic frequency or a consciousness of us in a higher realm, in a more evolved version of ourselves. This is inclusive of Buddha consciousness, of Zen consciousness, of Christ consciousness, oneness, unconditional love and acceptance. This is what this consciousness is. And it is not separate from us. It is who we really are in our most divine essence, in our greatest remembrance of who we are. And they give us beautiful, beautiful messages that we've been sharing weekly. We've been sharing them on our podcast. So if you haven't tuned into those, you would love it, I'm sure. We want to invite you to that because it really is something that we're needing on our planet right now, and we deserve. So the message that I want to give today, I sat down and I asked, what would you have me speak about? And this was the answer that came. I loved it. They said, we would love for you to speak on reality versus relationship with reality. And in this latest message that I did with the masters that I translated, they basically were likening our experience right now to walking into an amusement park. And they were saying you go to this amusement park with the intention of having a great time, to be thrilled, to have these rides knock your socks off, right? Like, we're looking for exhilaration, right? This is an adventure. I, for one, am a roller coaster freak. I love it. The scarier, the better. The more upside down, more crazy, unknown. I love it. Some of you may not relate to that. But basically, they were saying that we have come into this amusement park called life. We signed up for an adventure, right? We signed up for all the highs, the lows, the ins, the outs, the sads, the happies. We asked for emotion. We asked for experience. We asked to be able to really remember ourselves in our most creative form. And how would we know ourselves in that way if we didn't experience ourselves in all different ways? So they basically said, you get on this roller coaster and you buckle yourself in. And once the ride starts, there's some of us who are like hanging on for dear life. We're holding on to the sides of the walls. We're trying to hold on to anything that seems familiar. And that's kind of what we're going through in this experience right now. In these shifts that are happening on our planet, is it seems like a lot of people, and I've done this too, but it seems like a lot of people are kind of holding on to whatever is familiar, holding on to, let's go back to the old ways, really in resistance of what comes next. And oh no, here comes another change, and here comes another dip, and here comes another high. But having some fear and resistance around all of that. And basically what the masters were saying is, you signed up for this. You voluntarily got on that roller coaster. And not only did you get on that roller coaster, but you helped to create it. Energetically, you laid the tracks. You designed it. You designed the ups and the downs. And the end result is you experiencing yourself in so many different ways and realizing that you get to create it however you want. If you didn't really like that upside down loop, that was too much for you, okay, create it a little bit more smoothly next time. But this is yours and you get to create it. And they were basically saying, we come into this life with this resistance to anything that is out of the ordinary or anything that looks like it might be a bump in the road, but that is in direct opposition to what our ultimate goal is with our souls. Our ultimate goal is expansion and growth and understanding and unlimited perspective, right? It's to come back into the remembrance of our oneness. So, reality versus our relationship with reality. Reality is just the reflection that our energetic frequency is bringing to us. It's just the opportunity for us to choose. If we want to continue that reality, we keep choosing that. If we want to shift and experience a different reality, we get to experience that, but it comes through our relationship with that reality. So basically, the more that we are able to enjoy the ride, come into acceptance, come into that place of just embracing the unknown and trusting, knowing that our higher selves are on that ride with us. Our divinity is that ride. We have everything we need. We're completely buckled in and safe and we're riding on this together. We're riding all on this roller coaster together. And I was thinking about how, the roller coaster, like part of it might still be in an up part and some of it might be on a down part. And that really is how our experience is. There's some people who might be just a little bit further down those tracks, but we don't judge that. We don't judge that when we're on a roller coaster, We just value the experience. We value the time together. And I really feel like that's where we need to come back to, is just to go, oh, you're on a down part? Okay, that's okay. No judgment there. We love you for even being on the ride. Congratulations for showing up. Congratulations for getting on this roller coaster. We're doing this together. But the more that we're able to love it, embrace it, enjoy the ride, go into the unknown with our arms up, maybe screaming at the top of our lungs, but laughing and playing and enjoying what this is, the more in alignment our reality becomes, because it's more connected to the truth of our souls. We're going to be on this roller coaster for a little bit. I can just tell you that right now. I really feel that in the master, the masters are telling us that this is a ride. We're going to be on it for a little while, but it doesn't have to be a scary ride. It doesn't have to be something that we lose. We have everything to gain, everything to enjoy, everything to love. And they give me the feeling that if this isn't the roller coaster we like, we get to create another one. We've never before had so much energy on our planet to create with, and that is a beautiful experience. So if this resonates with you, if you want to understand more about your energy frequency, understand more of how to focus that so that you can create the ride that you want, create the reality, and change maybe your relationship with your reality, I would be so happy to assist you in that. If you are not a member of our I Am Mastery membership, it's such a fun thing. We have a community. We do monthly calls. We have weekly messages. We have the podcast. But it just kind of helps you to stay connected to a community of like-minded, like-hearted people. We also have some really exciting opportunities that we'll be announcing in this next week, where you actually personally can work with myself or with Aubrey or with some of our other mentors that are going through this training right now. Very excited about that. Our intention is to create a place where everyone can come together and grow and learn and expand and really step into their own mastery, being able to assist other people to getting to that as well. So hope you have a wonderful day, and I will post a link for Patreon if you would like to become an I Am Mastery member, and we will keep you updated. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.